Hi everyone, this is Garrison for Iron Kingdoms at War, coming to you with a figure feature. Going to talk about the Butcher of Kardov and the Khadorian Wardog. And sorry it's been a while since I did a video or posted on my blog. Now I'm doing both. So you can check out my Iron Kingdoms at War blog on Blogspot if you have a chance. I'm Blogger. But certainly glad to be back. I'll talk in a future weekly update about, my hiatus and why I wasn't doing much in the way of War Machine for a while. Had good reason. But bottom line is I'm back, and I'm excited to share some paint jobs I did with you recently, and also excited to talk about some battle reports and some terrain ideas coming up soon on the channel, so keep your eyes out for those. Today, let's look at a couple models I did recently. I'm still a little rusty, but I think my skills are coming back to me. This is the Butcher of Kardov, a great Khadorian warcaster. Has his great axe here, Lola, a great melee weapon. He also has a gun as well, so he has a ranged attack. But it's really, with warcasters, especially the Butcher of Kardov, Ursus Zotavia, it's really about his spells. And he has neat spells like Obliteration and Iron Flesh and Fury and Full Throttle, where he can basically run jacks and so forth. So he a lot of neat abilities. But let's talk about the paint job. You'll notice for him I chose a green and red armor plating scheme. All right, not just the traditional all red Khadorian scheme. And one of the reasons is recently I did a Kodiak, and the Kodiak in the Force of War Machine, the heavy warjack, is featured with a the green and red paint job, but mostly Thornwood green, and I really like that look. So I decided to kind of carry that over to the Butcher, and that's why he looks the way that he does with the green and the red. Some of the things that I put a little extra work into on him were his cape, this animal pelt cape. You can see I had to try to work hard on the shading there to get that to look right. The glow of the boiler at the top and the smokestack, so to speak. And his face. I tried a new technique on his face, and with all War Machine painting, I'm not a master painter. I'm a decent painter, and I want to get better, and that's the fun of the hobby, is always trying to figure out how can I tweak my techniques. And I plan on getting better over time. We'll see what happens. The second thing I want to talk about is the Khadorian Wardog. Whoops, sorry about the flip in camera there. All right, and the Wardog is a really neat model. And basically, in the Forces of War Machine book, they describe him as a bull mastiff, and his job is really to protect warcasters. In fact, a lot of his special abilities really have to do with the idea of letting the warcaster do his thing, and let the Wardog worry about defending him in close combat. So it's kind of neat. Just have that little assistant for a few extra points to your warcaster. Khadorian Wardog, again, bull mastiff was the inspiration for the dog that they show in the Forces book. And the trickiest thing with this model was just making sure I got the fur to look right. The different tones in the fur, kind of the lighter color underbelly and back of the legs, and the dark maw on this bull mastiff type dog. That was tricky. But with the blending and patience and a lot of layers, I think I got an effect that I'm happy with. So yeah, that's the Khadorian Wardog. Really excited about him. If I can zoom in a little bit without getting too blurry, hopefully you can make out on the bottom. That's a watch part, that gear I put there. It looked like, from his pose that he's leaping over something. I thought about building a little fence on his base. I might do another Wardog someday just so I can do that different basing approach, but for now I just put this kind of gear here, which is actually a watch part, and that's what he's kind of jumping over. So we can get a group shot here of the Butcher and his faithful companion, a Khadorian Wardog. All right, so both of those were a lot of fun to do. Oh, back on the Butcher for a second, I almost forgot. Usually I'm not a big fan of putting a lot of gore on figures. I don't like the look. I think it gives it an unclean look on a nicely finished model. But given that this guy's name is the Butcher, at least his nickname is, I thought I needed to do something just to capture that. So what I did is I bloodied up his axe a little bit. Got kind of a splat blood effect on there. See if I can get that. Alright, and it's subtle, but it's there. And then on his base, a little more of that too. Okay, the front and the back. Just to suggest you don't really want to mess with this guy. And, if you know his reputation from the lore, yeah, you don't want to mess with them. As far as the snow on these bases, traditional method, use some baking soda and some Elmer's white glue and some white paint. The white paint is very important when you make this mixture, because if you don't put the paint in there, what happens is when they dry, the mixture dries, your snow mixture, it'll yellow over time. So put the white paint in there with your white glue and your baking soda, and you got a nice little snow substance that you can dab onto your base and get the effect that you see here. So that's about it. Thanks for watching this figure feature. I'm happy to be back doing War Machine, posting videos, posting posts on my blog, and I appreciate everybody that is continuing to follow me and has been patient for my return, and I will continue to deliver for the future. So thanks again for taking a look, and this is Garrison, Frying Kingdoms at War, signing off. Happy wargaming, everybody.